Welcome, basketball fans, sports enthusiasts, and everyone tuning in from across the globe to our comprehensive, deep dive coverage of one of the most highly anticipated matchups in the history of Philippine basketball. We are looking at a titanic clash, a veritable clash of the titans that has the entire nation, and indeed international fans of the game, sitting on the edge of their seats. The burning question on everyone's mind, the headline that is dominating sports pages, social media feeds, and passionate debates in every corner of the country is this. In the impending blockbuster game between Barangay Ginebra San Miguel and the San Miguel Beer Men, can Ginebra pass? Can they overcome the monumental hurdle that is the San Miguel dynasty? Furthermore, we are going to dissect, analyze, and unpack the recent highly intriguing statements made by former San Miguel head coach Leo Austria. Statements that have set the internet ablaze, especially with the viral, slightly humorous online chatter referring to his quotes as being said in Geneva, a playful typographical phenomenon that has only added to the modern lore of this rivalry. We are going to explore all of this and so much more in this expansive broadcast. To truly understand the gravity of this matchup, we must first lay the groundwork and paint a picture of the landscape of the Philippine Basketball Association, or the PBA. The PBA is not just a sports league, it is a cultural institution, a deeply ingrained part of the national identity where the passion for basketball reaches a fever pitch that is arguably unmatched anywhere else in the world. And within this storied league, two franchises stand head and shoulders above the rest when it comes to historical dominance, rabid fan bases, and an enduring legacy of excellence: Barangay Ginebra and the San Miguel Beer Men. When these two sister teams, both under the massive corporate umbrella of the San Miguel Corporation, collide on the hardwood, sisterhood is entirely thrown out the window. What replaces it is a fierce, uncompromising, and deeply physical battle for supremacy, pride, and the adoration of millions. Let us begin by looking at the challengers in this specific narrative, Barangay Ginebra San Miguel. To speak of Ginebra is to speak of the very soul of Philippine basketball fandom. They are unequivocally the crowd darlings, the team of the masses, the squad that commands an ocean of passionate supporters who pack arenas to the rafters, transforming neutral venues into deafening seas of red and white. But Ginebra is not merely a popular team. They are a team defined by an ethos, a philosophy that has been forged in the fires of countless comebacks and seemingly impossible victories. This is the never say die spirit. It is a mantra that was birthed decades ago under the legendary leadership of Robert Jaworski, and it is a battle cry that continues to define the modern iteration of the team under the masterful guidance of Coach Tim Cone, the winningest coach in PBA history. The never say die spirit is not just a marketing slogan. It is a tangible, almost terrifying psychological weapon. It means that no matter the deficit, no matter how little time remains on the game clock, and no matter how insurmountable the odds may seem, Barangay Ginebra fundamentally believes they can win. Opposing teams know this. They feel the anxiety creeping in when a 20-point lead dwindles to 15, then to 10, fueled by the deafening rhythmic chants of Ginebra, Ginebra, echoing from the grandstands. It is a tidal wave of momentum that has drowned many a formidable opponent. On the other side of the court, we have the San Miguel Beer Men, a franchise that is synonymous with absolute, uncompromising dominance. If Ginebra is the heart of the PBA, San Miguel is its iron fist. For the better part of the last decade, the Beer Men have constructed a dynasty that will be studied by basketball historians for generations. They are a team built on an unparalleled foundation of sheer talent, overwhelming size, and tactical execution. Central to their identity is the presence of June Mar Fajardo, a generational talent, a multi-time most valuable player, and arguably the most dominant center to ever lace up a pair of sneakers in the league. Fajardo is a gravitational force on the court. He demands double, sometimes triple teams in the post, and his mere presence warps the defensive schemes of every opponent they face. But San Miguel is far from a one-man show. They are a multi-headed hydra, boasting a roster so deep and so talented that their second unit could arguably start for most other teams in the league. With elite guards capable of breaking down defenses, lethal shooters waiting on the perimeter to punish any defensive lapses, and versatile forwards who can seamlessly switch on both ends of the floor, the Beer Men present a complex, multifaceted puzzle that is incredibly difficult to solve. This brings us to the crux of our broadcast today, the impending collision between these two contrasting philosophies. Can Ginebra's heart, their tactical discipline under Tim Cone, and their mystical, never-say-die aura overcome the sheer, overwhelming firepower and physical dominance of the San Miguel Beer Men? To answer this, we must look to the words of a man who knows this rivalry intimately, a man who has stood on the sidelines orchestrating San Miguel's historic championship runs, Coach Leo Austria. Recently, quotes from Austria have surfaced, igniting intense discussion. The viral spread of these quotes, sometimes accompanied by the amusing typo placing him in Geneva rather than speaking about Ginebra, underscores the intense scrutiny every word regarding this matchup receives. But looking past the online humor, Austria's message is profoundly serious and deeply revealing. He has openly expressed caution, a profound respect, and even a degree of apprehension when discussing the challenge that Ginebra presents. Coach Austria, drawing from his vast well of experience in high-stakes playoff battles against the Gin Kings, has articulated exactly why Ginebra is the most dangerous team to face in a closeout situation or a high-pressure game. He has pointed out that a lead, even a substantial double-digit lead in the fourth quarter, is never safe against Ginebra. He has lived through the nightmare scenarios where the Gin Kings flip a switch, the crowd erupts, and a seemingly secure victory evaporates in a flurry of forced turnovers, fast break points, and clutch three-pointers. Austria's statements serve as a stark warning to the current San Miguel squad. You cannot relax for a single second, you cannot let your foot off the gas, and you must play a full 48 minutes of flawless basketball because Ginebra is always just one spark away from a raging inferno. This level of respect from a legendary rival coach highlights the immense psychological warfare that underpins this physical contest. It sets the stage for a tactical chess match of the highest order. As we prepare to delve deeper into the specific matchups, the statistical anomalies, the X's and O's, and the intricate strategies that will determine the outcome of this clash, we must keep this foundational narrative in mind. This game is not just about advancing to the next round or securing a higher seed. It is about legacy, it is about proving a point, and it is about asserting dominance in a rivalry that defines the very essence of the sport in this basketball-crazed nation. We are going to break down every conceivable angle of this prediction. We will look at how Ginebra plans to mitigate the impact of San Miguel's towering frontline. We will analyze how San Miguel intends to silence the crowd and neutralize Ginebra's transition game. We will explore the critical roles of the imports, the homegrown stars, and the unsung role players who often become the unexpected heroes in games of this magnitude. So, settle in, get comfortable, and prepare for a comprehensive exploration of the beautiful game. This is the ultimate breakdown of Ginebra versus SMB. Now that we have established the grand stage and the historical context of this monumental rivalry, it is time to transition into our deep dive analysis. We are going to pull back the curtain and examine the intricate gears and cogs that make these two basketball machines operate. To accurately predict if Barangay Ginebra can indeed pass the formidable test presented by the San Miguel Beer men, we must dissect the game from every conceivable angle: the strategic philosophies, the individual player matchups, the statistical trends, and the psychological warfare that occurs both on the court and in the locker room. Let us begin by analyzing the offensive philosophy of Barangay Ginebra under the tutelage of Coach Tim Cohn. Coach Cohn is famously known as the foremost practitioner of the triangle offense, a complex read-and-react system that relies on precise spacing, constant ball movement, and high basketball IQ. However, over the years, Cohn has masterfully adapted and evolved his system to suit the specific personnel of the Gin Kings. While the foundational principles of the triangle remain, the post-entry passes, the strong side spacing, the blind pig actions, Ginebra's modern offense is incredibly fluid. It is heavily reliant on the playmaking brilliance of their guards, most notably Scottie Thompson. Thompson is a completely unique player, a rebounding savant from the guard position whose ability to secure the board and immediately ignite the fast break is the engine of Ginebra's transition game. The goal for Ginebra is to avoid playing a grinding half-court game against the massive San Miguel defense if they can help it. They want to run. They want to score before the Beer men can set their defensive formations. When forced into the half-court, Ginebra's success hinges heavily on their import, Justin Brownlee. Brownlee is not just a highly skilled player. He is a transcendent figure for the franchise, a player who embodies the never-say-die spirit as much as anyone in the team's history. His versatility is his greatest weapon. He can initiate the offense, he can post up smaller defenders, he can knock down the outside shot, and crucially, he possesses an unparalleled clutch gene. Against San Miguel, Brownlee's decision-making will be heavily tested. He will face an array of long, athletic defenders designed to wear him down over the course of the game. Furthermore, the interior presence of players like Japeth Aguilar and Christian Standhardinger is absolutely vital. Aguilar provides the vertical spacing, the lob threat that forces the defense to respect the airspace near the rim, while Standhardinger offers the rugged, physical post play and the mid-range consistency needed to counter San Miguel's bigs. Conversely, The defensive strategy of San Miguel is built around their overwhelming size and length. Their primary objective will be to construct a wall around the paint, funneling Ginebra's slashers toward their elite shot blockers. The Beer men excel at traditional, physical man-to-man defense, but they are also capable of deploying suffocating zone variations that can disrupt the rhythm of the triangle offense. The key for San Miguel's defense will be controlling the defensive glass. If they can limit Ginebra to one shot per possession and prevent the offensive rebounds that often lead to backbreaking second chance points, they will severely cripple the Gin Kings' offensive output. Furthermore, San Miguel's perimeter defenders, players known for their tenacity and defensive instincts, will be tasked with staying attached to Ginebra's shooters, denying them the open looks that can ignite a scoring run and awaken the sleeping giant that is the Ginebra crowd. Now, let us flip the script and examine the San Miguel Beermen's offense. It is a terrifying proposition for any defensive coordinator. The focal point, the sun around which the San Miguel solar system orbits, is June Mar Fajardo. Defending Fajardo is a pick-your-poison scenario. If you play him straight up, one-on-one, he will use his incredible footwork, his soft touch, and his sheer physical strength to dominate the post and draw fouls, putting the opposing frontcourt in immediate foul trouble. If you choose to double-team him, which is the standard protocol for most teams, Fajardo possesses the vision and the unselfishness to find the open man. And this is where the Beer men become truly lethal. Surrounding Fajardo is a cadre of elite shooters and dynamic scorers. Players like Marcio Lassiter, one of the greatest shooters in league history, are constantly moving, relocating, and waiting for the kick-out pass. If the defense collapses on the post, San Miguel will rain down three-pointers with devastating accuracy. Moreover, the addition and integration of dynamic playmakers like C.J. Perez have added an entirely new dimension to the Beermen's offense. Perez is a blur in the open court, an aggressive slasher who can break down his primary defender and attack the rim with ferocity. This dribble penetration forces the defense to collapse, again opening up opportunities for the big men inside or the shooters outside. San Miguel's offense is not overly complex in its design. It is based on fundamental principles of spacing, inside-out basketball, and exploiting mismatches. However, the execution is near perfect, and the talent level is so high that even when the defense knows exactly what is coming, they often remain powerless to stop it. So, how does Barangay Ginebra defend this juggernaut? Coach Tim Cohn's defensive schemes are legendary, but they will be tested to their absolute limits. Ginebra's strategy against San Miguel often involves a delicate balancing act. They must front the post, applying tremendous pressure on the entry pass to make it as difficult as possible for Fajardo to catch the ball in his preferred spots. This requires relentless energy and physical exertion from Ginebra's big men, specifically Standhardinger, who is often tasked with this grueling assignment. When the ball does go inside, Ginebra will employ well-timed, aggressive double teams, looking to strip the ball or force a hurried pass. The key here is the rotation. The remaining three defenders must move on a string, anticipating the pass and scrambling to cover the open shooters on the perimeter. It is a high-wire act of defensive coordination. If the rotation is half a second late, San Miguel will punish them with a wide-open three. If they stay too close to the shooters and leave their big man on an island against Fajardo, it is an automatic 2 points. This tactical battle brings us back to the prescient words of Coach Leo Austria. Why did he emphasize Ginebra's fighting spirit so heavily? Why did he warn of their ability to erase large leads? It is because Austria understands the psychological toll that Ginebra's style of play takes on an opponent. When San Miguel builds a lead, it is usually through methodical execution. But when Ginebra mounts a comeback, it is often chaotic, high energy, and emotionally charged. They turn defense into offense. They apply full-court pressure. They scramble for loose balls. They hit improbable shots. And crucially, they feed off the energy of the crowd. Austria knows that if San Miguel allows themselves to become rattled by this chaotic energy, if they start turning the ball over, or if they deviate from their disciplined game plan, the momentum can shift in the blink of an eye. His statements are a testament to the fact that against Ginebra, the battle is as much in the mind as it is on the scoreboard. Let us focus for a moment on the crucial individual matchups that will likely decide this contest. The point guard battle is fascinating. You have the steady, high IQ leadership of L.A. Tenorio, a general on the floor who understands the nuances of the game better than almost anyone, orchestrating the Ginebra offense. Against him, the relentless defensive pressure and game management skills of Chris Ross. Ross is a defensive maestro, a player who can disrupt an entire offensive possession simply through his ball pressure and anticipation. If Ross can disrupt Tenorio's rhythm and prevent Ginebra from easily initiating their offensive sets, San Miguel gains a massive advantage. Then there is the battle on the wings. The athletic wings of San Miguel, capable of both locking down defensively and scoring in bunches, going up against the multifaceted threats of Ginebra. The rebounding battle from the wing positions will be absolutely critical. Whoever controls the long rebounds and secures the 50-50 balls will dictate the pace of the game. And, of course, the monumental clash in the paint. Can the combined efforts of Ginebra's frontcourt physically withstand the punishment of guarding San Miguel's giants over the course of the entire game? Foul trouble will be a massive factor. If Ginebra's key big men pick up early fouls, it forces Coach Cohn into difficult rotational decisions and severely weakens their interior defense. Furthermore, we must address the concept of the X factor. In games of this magnitude, where the primary stars are heavily scouted and game-planned against, it is often the secondary players, the unsung heroes, who tilt the scales. For Ginebra, a player hitting consecutive three-pointers off the bench, or a backup big man providing valuable minutes of solid defense and rebounding, can be the difference-maker. For San Miguel, a role player stepping up to hit the crucial shots when the defense collapses on their stars is equally vital. The depth of the bench and the strategic use of substitutions by both coaching staffs will be scrutinized heavily. In analyzing the prediction of whether Ginebra can pass this test, we must acknowledge that they are facing arguably the steepest uphill battle in the league. San Miguel's roster construction is specifically designed to dominate physically. However, basketball is not played on paper. It is played on the hardwood, where emotion, momentum, and strategic adjustments reign supreme. Ginebra's path to victory is narrow, but it is clear. They must dictate the tempo. They must win the turnover battle. They must rebound exceptionally well as a collective unit. And above all, they must keep the game close heading into the fourth quarter. If it is a single-digit game in the final 5 minutes, the never-say-die magic, the roar of the crowd, and the clutch heroics of their stars make them incredibly dangerous, validating every word of caution ever spoken by Coach Leo Austria. As we draw this extensive deep-dive analysis to a close, we must synthesize the myriad of factors we have discussed and arrive at a definitive conclusion, or at the very least, a clear understanding of the pathways to victory for both of these legendary franchises. The question remains, can Barangay Ginebra pass the ultimate test presented by the San Miguel Beer men? The answer, as we have seen, is deeply complex and layered with historical, tactical, and psychological nuance. If Barangay Ginebra is to emerge victorious, they must execute a game plan that borders on perfection. Their margin for error is razor-thin when facing a team with the sheer firepower and physical dominance of San Miguel. Ginebra's success will be completely predicated on their ability to control the pace of the game. They cannot afford to get bogged down in a slow, half-court slugfest where San Miguel's size advantage becomes insurmountable. They must push the ball in transition at every available opportunity, utilizing the elite rebounding and playmaking of Scottie Thompson to initiate fast breaks before the Beermen's defense can set. Furthermore, their perimeter shooting must be reliable. If Ginebra cannot hit from the outside, San Miguel will simply pack the paint, double-team Justin Brownlee, and dare the Gin Kings to beat them from beyond the arc defensively. Ginebra must play with an unmatched level of intensity and collective discipline. They must swarm the post, rotate flawlessly to cover shooters, and gang rebound to prevent devastating second-chance points. But above all the tactical requirements, Ginebra must lean entirely into their identity. They must harness the energy of their massive fan base, they must remain fiercely resilient in the face of deficits, and they must truly embody the never-say-die spirit that has defined their franchise for generations. If they can keep the game within striking distance entering the final minutes, history has shown us that they have the personnel and the poise to execute under the most extreme pressure. Conversely, for the San Miguel Beer men to assert their dominance and advance, their game plan is focused on imposing their will and utilizing their overwhelming advantages. They must establish June Mar Fajardo in the post early and often. By feeding Fajardo, they force the Ginebra defense to collapse, immediately opening up the floor for their array of lethal shooters. San Miguel must prioritize offensive rebounding, utilizing their size to generate extra possessions and wear down the Ginebra frontcourt. Defensively, the Beer men need to focus on containment. They must limit the transition opportunities for Ginebra, forcing them to execute in the half-court against their set defense. They need their perimeter defenders to stay disciplined, avoiding unnecessary fouls and contesting every shot. However, perhaps the most crucial element for San Miguel, echoing the profound insights of coach Leo Austria, is maintaining absolute mental fortitude. They cannot become complacent if they build a lead. They must understand that against Ginebra, the game is never truly over until the final buzzer sounds. They must weather the inevitable runs, silence the crowd with methodical execution, and play a full, uncompromising 48 minutes of championship-level basketball. The statements from coach Leo Austria, whether translated accurately or playfully dubbed as coming from Geneva, have added a fascinating layer of psychological intrigue to this matchup. They serve as a testament to the immense respect that exists between these two fierce rivals. Austria's warnings about Ginebra's fighting spirit highlight the intangible elements of the game: the emotion, the momentum, the sheer will to win, that often defy statistical analysis and tactical planning. It is these intangible elements that make this rivalry so captivating and so unpredictable. Ultimately, predicting the outcome of a Barangay Ginebra versus San Miguel beer men clash is always a perilous endeavor. It is a matchup that pits the irresistible force against the immovable object. It is a clash of contrasting styles, contrasting philosophies, and passionate fan bases. Whatever the final score may be, one thing is absolutely certain: basketball fans are guaranteed a spectacle of the highest order. We will witness intense physicality, brilliant tactical adjustments, incredible individual performances, and a level of competitive fire that is truly special to behold. We want to thank you, the viewers, for joining us on this incredibly detailed journey through the intricacies of this monumental PBA matchup. The dedication of the fans is what makes Philippine basketball the vibrant, throbbing heartbeat of the nation's sporting culture. We hope this deep dive has provided you with a richer understanding of the strategies, the history, and the immense stakes involved when these two titans collide on the hardwood. Keep your eyes glued to the screen, stay passionate about the beautiful game, and enjoy what promises to be an absolute classic. Until next time, stay safe, stay engaged, and keep the love for the game alive. Thank you, and goodbye.